video. Welcome back to the Simplicity Sisters. I know that we have not been posting a ton of videos, but I do want you to know that we are continuing to record them. We just have a bunch of editing to do, and I have been really busy decluttering my house, and I made some videos on it. My problem is I tend to just want to quickly do the declutter project, and then later I'm like, oh, I should have made a video on that. So I'm trying to work on videoing my progress and like my real life decluttering process rather than just quickly getting through the decluttering project. So that's my goal. Today's video is going to be just a really quick one, and I want to talk about sentimental items and items that are difficult to declutter. I am really not a very sentimental person when it comes to stuff. I don't tend to attribute a lot of emotional value to items, but I think even though I don't feel that way about most items, there are a few items that I have really struggled to get rid of. So I want to give you my advice when it comes to getting rid of those items that are difficult and that you want to hang on to, and just talk about the reason why is it hard to get rid of something? Why does it have that value to you? And what does that mean? How can you process that? And what's the healthiest way to do that? So today I'm going to talk about this cow. This is called a gunned comfy cozy cow, and this is an item, it's got its tag still. This is an item that I purchased probably in 2006, and I found them on clearance, and I bought 6 of them, maybe, possibly a couple more. They were, I think, $6, and this I think retails for $25. What I did was I had been looking for a new lovey for my kids, for my girls, my twins, when they were, I guess this is when they were like toddlers. They were either 2 or 3 years old. And because they were NICU babies and preemies and twins, we were always big lovey family. We gave them loveys when they were really young because, you know, I couldn't necessarily hold them constantly or give them like as much skin to skin as I wanted to, since they were already in the NICU at the beginning. And because there were 2 of them, I wasn't able to give them as much skin to skin as I would have if it's been one baby. That's just the reality of it. Believe me, they got a lot of attention and a lot of cuddles, so I'm not going to feel guilty about that. But because of the NICU experience, we did get them loveys at the beginning, and they loved them. They had these little bears, and actually they were given to us by a little girl that I was keeping when I was a nanny before I had kids. So when I was pregnant with them, she picked those for us. So they loved those bears, and we washed them, and they were really getting to the point of falling apart, and I couldn't actually find doubles for them. So it was a little stressful when we traveled or went in the car. I was afraid we were gonna lose those. So I was looking for something new, and this is what we picked. It's really silky on the bottom, and they're really soft on the top. And the girls latched onto these new loveys that we gave them, and they really did love them. And they became, they called them Mr. Moo Cow, I think, or something like that. They loved them, and because I had an extra, I introduced it to my son when he was born. Of course, we didn't give it to them when they were newborns or even like 6 months, because it's such a thick thing that I didn't want them to pull them over their heads. But we introduced them when they were maybe 1 or something. So they loved these. All 3 of my kids loved these. And this is just an example. It's kind of random, but for me, I have pulled this cow out of my gift stash probably 24 times, thinking I need to let go of this cow. I just need to give it to someone who will love it because it's an extra. It was a backup, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking maybe we would have another kid. And so this cow is really tied to that kind of back of my mind, that hope that we might have another child. And I'm not sentimental about things, but I guess sometimes it's kind of like a hope that didn't materialize. And so I find it really, really hard to let go of this. Even though in my head and in my heart, I feel like we have the amount of kids that God has blessed us with. I mean, we did not try for 3 kids. We did try for 3 kids. We didn't try for any more kids. We really tried for 2 kids and got 3 in the bonus pregnancy. But we did not try for more kids because I was physically, emotionally, and mentally maxed out with my 3 kids. I think we have the amount of kids that we are capable of caring for at this time. I think that I'm maxed out. Certainly I was maxed out 4 or 5 years ago, emotionally and physically, especially with my health situation being what it is. I just don't think that I was capable of having more children, and my pregnancies were extremely traumatic. So I think if we were going to have more kids, it would have to be a little bit of a divine intervention situation, and that I have always wanted to adopt. So I have that sort of in the back of my mind that maybe God would provide us the financial means to do that, but it would really have to be a divine kind of a situation, because I don't feel like we have it in us right now. So all that to say, in the back of my mind, I just kind of had this sort of secret hope that God would somehow work that out for us. And in the back of my mind, I haven't given that up. I still think, you know, we're still in our 30s, barely, and I feel like I have a ton more love to give. I don't have a ton of money to give, and I don't have a ton of space to give, and so it would sort of have to be something God would have to work out for us. But I have continued to pick up this soft cow and just have so many emotions tied to this, like memories of my kids and this deferred hope and this sort of feeling of what if. And reality is, God is going to do what he's going to do. Our lives will happen as they happen, and this toy has nothing to do with whether we're going to have more kids or not. This toy is an inanimate object. It doesn't actually have very much value at all, and there is really no reason for me to hang on to this, but I still have. So if you have items that are just intrinsically maybe not that valuable, but in your mind you just feel attachment to them, I guess my advice is, first of all, not to tackle those items at first, to procrastinate that until the end of your decluttering process. Go through the low-hanging fruit, the easy things, the things that are super obvious, the things that you know what you need to do, like the procrastinated decisions, like you know you're gonna get rid of some of that stuff eventually, you just haven't yet. Those are the items you need to tackle first. These items are not what you should be asking yourself about right now if you're at the beginning of the process. And also just to be gentle with yourself. You know what? If you want to hang on to an item that's kind of illogical, that's okay. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anybody. So maybe just giving yourself space to process the reason behind your attachment to things. And also, I think the farther along you get, the more clarity you have on the reason behind our attachments to items. So I hope this is encouraging, and it was just kind of like a random thing that I came across this morning that I thought I would share about. I really love this cow. Like, this is something that really is special to me. And I'm still not sure if I'm gonna get rid of it. So I guess I'm still trying to decide if this is something that I'll let go of right now or if I'll hang on to it for a little bit longer. Again, I realize that this has nothing to do with our family size, and it is not going to dictate the size of my family. And if I did have another child and I didn't have this cow, it would be fine. So just funny how things can affect us and how in our heads, like, things can become bigger than they really are. So that is this case with this cow. If you have not been on our channel in the past, our channel is me and my sister, and we are decluttering, minimalizing, and simplifying our lives, and we are sharing our journey with you and the tips and the tricks that we come across as we go, and just helping us work towards a more peaceful home. And all of that is with the intentionality of spending more time with our families and the things that are important to us. So I hope you follow along, and we will see you later.